America, stop what you are doing. We have a political earthquake brewing, and it is going to shake your wallet. The former Vice President, Kamala Harris, just signaled in the strongest possible way that she is ready to run the country again in 2028. She is making it perfectly clear she is absolutely not done with politics. And this is a massive warning shot fired across the bow of the current administration and the entire Democratic Party establishment. This is not some soft-pedaled political gossip. This is a cold, hard fact coming straight from the source. In a major interview, when asked if she could be the first female president of the United States, Harris didn't dodge the question. She answered, possibly. That single word launches the 2028 presidential cycle right now. And if you care about your money, you need to understand the stakes. When a powerful politician announces they are still in the game, the flow of campaign cash changes direction instantly. We are talking about billions of dollars being mobilized, spent, and directed by this election drama. Let us get one thing straight, because this is the core of her entire strategy. She insists she is still in the fight because public service is in her bones. She says she has dedicated her entire life to serving the public, and that fire has not gone out. Now, look at the big picture. She believes a woman will be president. Period. She guarantees her grandnieces will see a woman occupy the White House in their lifetime, for sure. This isn't just a political promise, this is setting a destiny marker. And by throwing her own name into the ring with that possibly, she is making herself the center of that destiny. The current administration, led by President Donald Trump, is trying to shut this down, but they know exactly what this means: trouble. The White House spokesperson hit back immediately, saying that after Harris lost the 2024 election in a landslide, she should have taken the hint. They called her comments absurd lies and even mocked her for giving interviews to foreign journalists, suggesting she's just airing her grievances overseas. But the White House mocking her does nothing to change the political reality. She's running hard right now, even if she is technically just promoting her new book, 107 Days. That book details her last-minute, short-fuse attempt at the presidency after former President Joe Biden unexpectedly stepped aside late in the process. Remember, she only had 107 days to campaign after Biden dropped out, following months of speculation about his ability to lead. Harris herself admits that the rushed campaign meant she struggled to connect with voters on bread-and-butter economic issues, the stuff that hits your bank account every day, like the cost of housing and the staggering price of childcare. This failure to connect, combined with the short timeline, is how she frames her loss. But forget the reasons why she lost last time for a minute and listen to the real danger she is warning us about now, because this is where the money angle gets nasty. Harris is calling President Trump a tyrant. That is a brutally direct word, and it's meant to shock you. She claims every single warning she made about him during the 2024 campaign has come true, and that he's behaving like a fascist running an authoritarian government. She claims he promised to weaponize the Department of Justice, and she says he has done that exactly. This means the federal agencies that are supposed to enforce the law are being turned into political attack dogs. She gives a frightening example of this weaponization that directly impacts media and entertainment companies, which are worth billions on the stock market. She pointed to what happened with late-night host Jimmy Kimmel. After Kimmel made a political joke, the Trump administration went after the media organization that airs his show. She claims a Trump-appointed regulator threatened the broadcasters, which led to Kimmel's show being suspended. Think about the sheer power involved here. A single joke, a late-night punchline, was enough to make the President of the United States and his appointees threaten a massive media corporation and try to shut down an entire media organization in the process. Harris says this happened because Trump's skin is so thin he couldn't handle a little criticism. When the federal government starts messing with television networks over jokes, That is a huge problem for the financial future of those companies and the freedom of every media business in America. This is about government power deciding the winners and losers in the media landscape. But the corporate damage doesn't stop there. Harris is calling out American business leaders and institutions by name. She is saying they are bending the knee at the foot of a tyrant, and they're doing it for cold, hard financial reasons. Why? Because they want to stay close to power. They want to avoid a massive federal investigation into their business dealings. Or they want the government to approve a huge company merger worth potentially hundreds of millions of dollars. When corporate leaders fear a president so much, they compromise their principles just to get a business deal approved or avoid regulatory scrutiny, that shows you exactly how much power is concentrated in the White House. This political environment injects massive uncertainty into the financial markets, especially for companies awaiting government sign-off on big transactions. When a merger is approved, stocks jump, money is made, and investors win. If that merger approval is suddenly dependent on whether the CEO is politically loyal to the president, that changes the entire risk assessment for investors. Harris is essentially confirming that major business decisions are being dictated by political fear, not just good economics. But despite all this fighting talk, the political odds for Harris are not good right now. Political experts and even betting markets are calling her an outsider for the Democratic nomination in 2028. Some polls show her lagging behind her competitor, California Governor Gavin Newsom. In one market, they even put her odds lower than a major Hollywood star getting the nomination. But Harris is completely ignoring those numbers. She laughs off the idea that polls matter. She insists she has never listened to polls throughout her entire political career. She says if she had ever listened to what the polling numbers told her, she never would have run for her first or second office, and she certainly wouldn't be sitting down for these high-profile interviews now. That is the kind of aggressive confidence you need to take on the White House. She already showed her commitment to the national fight earlier this year when she ruled out running for governor of California in 2026. That race was hers to lose, but she stepped aside, making it clear her focus is on the top job. The political maneuvering is already heating up. The 2028 primary is starting way earlier than anyone expected. Experts are saying that upwards of 30 high-profile Democrats could jump into the race, including big names like Governor Newsom, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear, and California Representative Ro Khanna. This crowded field means the battle for Democratic donor money is going to be fierce and expensive. Harris is already preparing for the next round by defining herself not just as a candidate, but as the chief opponent to the president. She says she sees herself as a party leader, focusing on challenging the president's party and preparing for the 2026 midterm elections. The loss she suffered in 2024 was painful. Her and her team were reportedly devastated and shocked when the results came in. But she's trying to put a positive spin on the disaster, focusing on how narrow the margin was in the popular vote. Even so, she was decisively defeated where it truly matters, in the Electoral College. She only secured 226 electoral votes compared to the winner's 312. But that defeat, she says, is not the end of her story. This is about power, service, and the potential to be the first woman president. So here's the takeaway for you, the American viewer who cares about the intersection of money and power. Kamala Harris is back in the game. Her campaign means a massive political war chest is about to be deployed. The rhetoric is going to be scorching hot, focused on warning America about what she calls a tyrant. She is using the language of corporate corruption and the abuse of federal power to make her case. When the government dictates who wins and who loses mergers, your investment decisions are at risk. This is exactly why you need to stay tuned to this channel. If you want to track this election money trail and know how this huge political fight is going to affect your financial decisions in the coming months, hit that like button now. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a single update, and absolutely smash that bell notification so you get instant alerts every time we drop a video breaking down the next move in this billion-dollar political battle. I appreciate you watching. I'll catch you next time.